Welcome back to Satisfactory and back to my factory. You can see over there I've started to experiment with walkways. They look a lot nicer than these foundation blocks, so I think I'll probably switch across to using those. You can see there you just got the various rearranging sort of going on, T-sections for this bit, and all these are just straight walkways. Yep, very nice indeed, so I'm probably going to use those going forwards. Just to address a couple of comments I did see in the last episode saying, hey, you tried to paint a grey wall with grey. Honestly, it doesn't matter. I promise you. I tried. Look. Here is a paint gun. Okay, paint gun. Choose orange for me, please. Okay, select colour. Nope. There's no target, you see, because if I point this at something, it can actually change colour. I can actually just, you can see it will change colour. And if I just go to something I actually want this to be, this is motors. So if I colour this grey, for instance, press select, I can just shoot that and you can see it's changed colour. So see, it does work, but just not on that wall type. So yep, there's nothing wrong. I'm not painting a grey wall grey and thinking it's failing or anything. Honestly. So, moving from there, we're going to get to just getting to tier 5 and 6 today, I think, because how many of these I've got? 7. Okay, so I'll just give you a quick show through why it just finishes another 10 or so. I started scaling stuff up. I put Niner Mark IIs in both of our iron spots, those buildings there. You can see a third story is in place up the top there. So there now is a miner on the bottom floor. There is 2 of the smelters, whatever they're actually called, smelters, on the middle floor, 2 on the top. So there's 4 attached, and they are consuming the bottom sort of output, which is now Manufactories Mark II, as I said, and it's going out via basically iron level 3 belts. Level 3 belts can export at 270 resources per minute, and a Manufactories Mark II can come out at 240 per minute. So basically, Mark III belts can take. There's no point upgrading beyond Mark III belts, basically, in one mining spot. So as soon as that belt actually isn't able to carry anymore, or isn't able to take anymore, if it starts to just not show any ore at a certain point when you scale upwards, it means you're basically maxed out for that spot, and you can finish building that building. You can put your roof on, and that's that building's entire capacity done. So yeah, that's exactly what I did with that. I did pretty much the same thing with plate. So that's this building up to the top. There is again a third story if we count the ground floor. So ground for second or for second third, depending whether you're from the UK or US or wherever. And that's going to work as well. That starts providing more plate. We are providing enough screws, and then that leads on to reinforced iron, where I then added another third floor there. And then that all of that put together is enough to provide this machine with enough reinforced iron plate, generally speaking. I've just maybe run out of screws right now, but usually with enough reinforced iron plate to actually keep it running at full speed. I think it's screws I'm short of. Let's just have a look. Let's get on top of here. Yeah, so you can see we're maxed out on plate just fine, but you can see our screws are now the thing that's lagging behind. So fighting with this as it's actually doing stuff, and we're going to get to the point where we're able to get to tier 5 and 6. So let's fast forward a little bit for it to get us there, and we'll see where we get to. Oh, there's the place I was waiting for. I need to go and scale up some screws, but we'll see you in a few minutes for opening up tier 5 and 6. And here we are, we've got our last bits and pieces, and now we should be able to get this going. So in goes the last few modular frames. We're going to seal those. Off they go. Okay, and then we can just basically push it into orbit. Thank you very much. Yep, go. Go. Off you go. There we go. So, yep, tier 5 and 6 should now be open. And does that mean, yep, here's the next set of challenge. We need lots of motors, which is okay. We've got a production line for them. And we need computers, and we need heavy modular frames. So you can have a look. That's light modular frames. It's steel pipe and beams and screws. So we have all of those. Although it's not in a building yet, but we have all of those. And the computers, on the other hand, it says just computer. So clearly we need to research something from that point of view. So let's go over to our hub. And let's go and see what options we have as far as research is concerned. I would like to get me some runners. Yes, I would like to be able to run around faster, jump taller, jump higher, jetpack, etc., and stuff like that. So, active milestone. Do I have a mushroom? Let's just not have that as the active milestone. Nope. Yellow shards. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about just yet. Tier 3 and 4 heavily modular frames. So that was that recipe we unlocked, the research. So we can put beams in here to actually get an alternate recipe for that. In fact, I'm probably going to do that at some point. So let me just go and grab some encased beams. And let's just see how our actual supply is doing up here. There's our steel pipes. So the beams are up here. Yeah, plenty. Okay, so we'll just take some downstairs. And is there anything else to come out of the research? There is. Quartz. Please choose a new specimen. Crystal oscillators. Okay, so we're going to need to make those, which is another thing we need to go back over here. Yep. If I remember rightly, that leads to the map and the whole side of that kind of thing. But let's just get to tier 4. So Explorer, here we are. So we can see quartz crystal. And we can scan for it in the map itself. Well, in my personal scanner. We also get the map, which is good, and we get the first vehicle type, the Explorer, which is quite handy actually. It's kind of a nice little scout thing. Not quite so useful once you start getting your ability to move around a little bit faster, but that's the sort of next thing that we can do. And you can see we pretty much have some of that, but we need a lot of modular frames, so it's a good thing our factory is making them while we talk. Oil processing, yep, it's the oil stuff, and we have to go and find somewhere near here where we get oil. That's probably going to be another episode by itself. Oil consumes a lot of room, but it is your route towards the computers, towards circuit boards, everything else, and that, again, does not need anything different than what we're already producing. That's just 75 modular frames. Industrial manufacturing gets us the manufacturer. That's where you start getting that's where you're able to create the heavy modular frames. Because I think it needs 4 ingredients. Anything that needs 4 ingredients needs a manufacturer, basically. And you can see, again, we're going to be short of modular frames. The truck's in there, and the computer is in there, so we'll need that. And then, tier 6, the jetpack. Oh, that's so nice. It's nice to have it. Expanded power infrastructure. Okay, so there we get the conveyor lifts and belts, Mark IV. Not that we need them for the basic factories that we've been building, because, again, the miner will be maxed out by Mark III belt, but other than that, that's fine. Monorail trains. Now, I haven't touched trains at all. If anyone's got any particular suggestions, put them in the comments down below. Have not tried them. But long distance, we used to have to just use belts, and that was a pain. So having rail as a long distance travel option, particularly perhaps for moving the oil barrels over from wherever we've got them. Again, no pipes in this game, just belts. So if we get them onto a train, the oil barrels, and we can bring them all back all the way over here, or indeed process locally all the way at the other end, but we'll have to transport power over there, or maybe an oil-fired power fuel generator, that kind of thing. And then just bring the barrels back, etc. Gas mask is purely there to actually get you to be able to breathe through the areas that are green gas that you see around all over the place. So plenty to actually research. By the magic of editing, you don't have to wait to see that. So I decided to go for industrial manufacturing because we want to see the recipes that we can possibly put together. So you can see 74 out of 75. Well, there's 75 out of 75, and 3,000 wire, 400 cable, and some motors. And industrial manufacturing is unlocked, which means a bunch of other stuff is unlocked. New buildings and new parts. So let's take a look what's in our new buildings. There you can see there is our manufacturer. Press enter to get that out of the way. There we go. So we need some heavy modular frames, we need some motors, some cable, and some computers. Now the computer, I assume we're going to be able to build them manually. Yes. For that, we're going to need some circuit boards, and we need some plastic. Probably I should have gone for the oil manufacturing first, because we don't have any plastic. I did find some circuit boards. That's certainly possible, but yeah. So I guess we're going to have to go back on that one and pick the other thing. But we can make heavy modular frames manually. Only problem is that we need 25 to make 5, a 1 to 5 to 1 ratio. So yes, that is another one to get through. So that's fine. I will just move on to the next sort of milestone over here. So there is the milestone. Oil processing is the other one we want from this tier. Again, it's all the same kind of stuff. It's just yet more modular frames, and of course, lots more wire. So I just have to wait for that to finish. It doesn't take that long now, but oh yes, I've been playing for 2 hours. This is how long it takes to do an episode, by the way. I've currently, let's just take a look. I've got 10 minutes of footage. That's 2 hours of work. Okay, so just when you wonder how much work it takes to get out of a day's episode, now you know. Sometimes quite a long time. In early parts of the games, not as much, but later on, it certainly does take a lot longer. Just thought I'd give you that bit of insight, given that the reminder popped up. Anyway, on we go with the next thing. Yep. Ooh, one other thing, that crash site that we found, I think it was the last episode, it did have 7 computers, so I do have enough computers to actually make one of the manufacturers. So I do have everything I need for that, which is good. I can avoid the need for the oil processing, at least to make one manufacturer, and the one manufacturer will let us make more heavy modular frames. But in the meantime, we'll still need the heavy modular frames made manually, so I will need to go grab myself some more wire and make that up into cable, and then just wait for the regular modular frames to be able to build one, and then we can go and see what the recipes are inside it. And also, while that's happening, I just wanted to mention the blade runners, the things that make you run faster. You need to keep your eye out for a caterium vein or a caterium spot. They're not very common, and they're normally out like over an abyss or something like that kind of lines. So you want to walk around, you know, it'd probably be on top of that or something like that. It's sort of a white and gold kind of ore, and if you actually manage to gather some of it, you can put it through the MAM, and that will then give you the ability to make blade runners. But I haven't found any yet in my game, and we'll see on that front whether we actually do get more as we get for. Well, at some point we will get the ability to actually scan for it, but that's a different thing entirely. So we'll have to get there eventually. In the meantime, back to modular frames. Okay, and here we go with the manufacturer. It's gigantic, so yeah, good luck placing this anywhere nearby your existing factory. You are going to want to basically get a lot of concrete to be able to expand your factory out at a certain point. But you can see this is just huge, and you're going to need multiple of these. It's not just one that you're going to need. I'm going to need at least 3 or 4 of them from memory to get through this sort of tier. So we've got a few options in here. One is a computer. Good. Okay, and we can make that. We need the oil stuff for that, so that's fine. And then we got these 2 recipes for the modular frames. So we can go for 1 heavy modular frame. Okay. Or 3 heavy modular frames. We're going to go for 3, aren't we? We're going to get 3 from 8 rather than 5 to 1. So yeah, what's that like? Less than 3 to 1. So that's much nicer as far as modular frames is concerned. And of course, I have a large excess of beams and pipes and concrete, so that is a lot nicer for me. So I will just go and click on that, and it can produce 2.812 per minute. I'm not sure if that means for 3 or just for 1. I assume it's for 3, so that's about 1 per minute, but there's no way I can keep up with this modular frames at the moment. So all we're going to do is just going to dump in a whole bunch of beams, pipes and concrete. Yep, and then we'll just load it manually for now. It'll just suit to actually craft those for me at a much better sort of return than what I had. So I'm just going to grab a couple. Well, just need 1 really stack of each. You're not going to be able to basically paste in more than that. Should click in more than that. Yep. And let's pop down. This is just huge. It's going to need power as well, of course. So there we go. Those are beam, pipes even, and then that's going to produce 10 lots. Sorry, 3 lots because of the pipes. So we just need to connect you up with some power now. Can we get power from you? We can. Okay. It hasn't killed the power, I don't think. Let's go and click on one of the things. How close are we for our power supply? Oh, we are getting pretty close. That spike there worries me. Yeah. You know when you say something like that, just don't say it. Just don't say it. Let me just go and turn this back on again. So I'm clearly going to need more coal generators up top. And that does mean I need to go and look for that. So I'm going to need more modular frames, some more cable, and everything else is fine. So modular frames is the order of the day. And I just want to show you a quick shot from up here. You can start to get the size of our base into scale right now. There is our space elevator. And that's coming down, so you can see we now have 6 buildings in our main cluster there. There is one over here for steel, and that's just where I decided to put it, this separate steel cluster. Then we've got our concrete building here, and then there is no building down right there at the moment, but there will be, which will be copper, which will be identical to those two at the back. So yeah, it's all pretty good, and you can see up here exactly how many coal generators I'm running on. I think it's 6, is it? Yeah, it is 7? 7. So I'm going to need even more, but thankfully they haven't run out yet. What I may well do is actually just create another split on this side of them. So if we just go to our power production, power, coal generator, can I actually fit one on this side if I rotate you around? But unfortunately they tend to be huge, so trying to position them and be able to see where they are is quite a task. There is looking around about right. Is that equidistant? No, but I don't care that much on this particular area, just because that's probably my limit. So I can always realign this by 1, and anyway, whenever you put the power poles down the middle, you tend to have to need like a slightly offset center as well, or something like that, or you end up with an offset pole. Either way, you can't win with that particular thing. So yep, I want basically stuff there, and these are all right next to each other, I think, so we should just be able to align the future ones and not have to worry about actually positioning otherwise. Or maybe they're not right next to each other. Is that right next to it? It is? No, they're not right next to each other. They'll leave them one space apart. Oh, because I think it was because there's power poles down the back. That's probably why I did it. Yeah, give me that back. Give me that back. So right there instead. Cool. And all I have to do when I do connect this is make sure I connect up to those poles at the back and not to the separate network that we've got. So I think that's... oh, yeah. I may have to fix that later. But I think that just means it's a matter of connecting to this pole, and that's everything. So if we just have a pole here, and we'll just put them to this for now. Yep, that's starting to produce power. And it's feeding in coal just fine. And of course, while we're here, I've just changed my main toolbar to actually just use level 3 belt all the time now. We should get enough basically of our steel beams that it's not going to be a problem. And just upgrade this all while we're here. I don't think there's any caterium up here. I do actually need to go and check a map at some point, but yeah, that's all upgraded. Not that we particularly need it for coal ore, but it solves the problem quite handily. Oh, filling these up really rather fast now. Okay, so that is working fine. No consumption. Are these not connected to the way the... oh, yeah. Need to connect to that as well. Yep, they spiked. And back on. Good. So now we're bringing ourselves quite a bit below the main maximum, which is exactly what we want. Back down to the base, I guess. Speaking of caterium, there is our massive space elevator. It's almost directly south of us. Maybe it's a little bit southeast. So there's the lake where we started out. Directly north of that, if you go past this intermediary rock, there's this large rock I'm stood on. So power slug down there. If you come up here, you will find another power slug on top of this rock, but also, just as well, more importantly perhaps, basically down here you'll find some caterium. I think it's caterium. Yeah, caterium. So we can go and pick that up. There is no node on top of it. You will have to either... did I bring any kind of portable... no, I did not. Oh. Well, guess I'm mining this manually. But yeah, you're going to make some caterium. This will let us research what we need. Later we will be using this. It gets made into quick wire, I think, which is an alternative to wire later. So it is a material we're going to use, but not quite as important as just basically enabling upgrades. So come and find this point if you are following along with my particular starter. Otherwise, of course, you may need to find another one. If you're looking for one on the easy start, or the first left-hand green start, look at my previous series. I do show you where that is. So there's a couple of spots. They're out over the edge of a waterfall, basically on a rock. And there's one out in like the chasm with nothing in between them. So there's, yes, it's not the easiest thing in the world to actually get, but we've got 100 caterium, or 99. One more. There we go. So let's take that back. And I laid some foundation back up there so that we can just ramp our way up with belt later, so that's going to be straightforward. In the meantime, however, we're going to head back across to our MAM, and we're going to get caterium ore researched. We need 25 of it, so let's just get that going. We also need to research crystal oscillators, but that's not something I don't care about just yet. I care more about the caterium ore, but that's 15 minutes away before I can reap the rewards for that, and let's see what we actually get. So that's that done, and I'm just going to dump away this rest of this caterium for now, and we'll come back to it later. So that's that done. Do I have anything else I can put in here? Waiting for resources. Ooh, I'm going to need lots of stuff, aren't I? So I'm going to need to go and get a bunch of stuff. There's all the motors, oil processing, wire, cable, and yet more modular frames. Looks like our research is finished. Yep. Analysis of caterium ore is complete. Please use a new specimen in the left hand side. Quick wire. Well, that's going to need, well, 100 quick wire. So let's just go over here and let's see what we've got. First of all, I've got to load this one up. This is the oil processing. So we'll get that out of the way, and off it goes. That's that milestone unlocked. And let's just take a look. Yep, new buildings, new parts, etc., etc. Caterium technology is the one I'm looking for, though. Caterium technology is a power pole Mark II. Can connect to 7 power lines to one thing. Good. I like it. The quick wire, caterium ingots, etc. Extra 5 inventory slots, which I like. Caterium ore can be scanned for, which I like as well. But I like that a lot more. So I'm going to need a 25 reinforced iron plate. I'm going to need some other bits and pieces, but we'll select that, and then I guess we can get to hopefully our Blade Runners. And while those heavy modular, well, not the heavy modular, the reinforced iron should be piling up before I can just turn the modular frame factory off. Here we've got no power, but I could just load this up with basically a couple of you. 7 or 8. Yeah, let's just load you with 2 batchfuls. And you say no power? Oh, that's because, yeah. If you remember, I shut my factory down. It's only been a little while for you. For me, it's been quite a bit longer. Sorry about that. Anyway, that should start producing very slowly heavy modular frames, but far more efficiently. So I'll just leave that there for now. What do you guys think about a building to put this in, though? Because if you have a look at this thing, it's going to be at least, I mean, the minimum footprint is 3 wide. That's going to need to move across 1 left there. So there's going to be no space down the sides for a belt on this thing. And that means, wow, this thing's going to have to be 3x5 at the least. The building size, yeah, because you're gonna need a space in front of it for the mergers and a space behind it. So even with ideal positioning, it's gonna have to be 3x5. So we may have to think about longer buildings as far as, you know, once we get out of this initial cluster. Maybe after reinforced iron, it becomes less of an issue to keep them to this, or we jump them up to something that's much larger. So the other option is to jump them up to either something like 5x5, keeping them square, or maybe even to go to even larger buildings, i.e. something that covers both of these, which would make it 8x8, i.e. wide, and then out. But then I guess what we could do with an 8x8 building is basically have 2 of these next to each other and plenty of room in front and back. So yeah, we would have to probably move this again. At this point, I'm just becoming used to just moving a space elevator, you know, whenever I feel like it. And we could just run another building. We're probably going to run out of room. How much room have we got? We've got 2. So we'd start another building here. Do we have enough room for 8? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Where's that take us to? Missing some concrete. A little bit more. It might just about fit, you know. One building, certainly, might just about fit. Otherwise, we're going to have to either extend or build an entirely new platform somewhere else. The lake's here. We could build over the lake, I suppose, but it's a nice, peaceful, tranquil lake, and we just pave it. So the other option is to go back here somewhere, but then we've got to reroute the modular frames. And I guess we could do that, because the modular frames only need... really they only need screws and plates for the reinforced iron, and then reinforced iron is also going to need some rods, and that's all on that. Well, we can get them all on that side. So yeah, I suppose that's one option. And I'm just going to go and grab some reinforced iron plates. I want 25 of them or something like that. So yeah, let's just grab all of them and switch this back on. And now do we get everything we want to over here? Let's just see if this building completes. So yeah, do let me know in the comments any thoughts about building sizes and stuff like that. I think 8x8, that is 2 batches worth. So yeah, we get 6 heavy modular frames there. Nice alternate recipe that we chose. So yeah, may end up over that direction, that kind of direction, or here for one building, but then we'll run out of room entirely. So either way, we'll get to where we need to go to. And now 6 minutes left that we got for this. I have everything I need, so I'm just waiting for me to be able to basically feed it in. 6 minutes to wait. And our wonderful little vehicle is back above us, so we can then hopefully choose this as our active. Well, yeah, we can. Everything's ready, so I can put all of you in. I want my cable. I'm gonna need even more cable, but that's fine. I just need a little bit of reinforced iron, some rotors, and then that's it. And I need actually just one more stack of wire, basically. One more stack of wire and a few more pieces of cable, which we can just make. Should be enough. Cable, wire, go. Great. So can I actually make the runners straight away over here at the equipment side of things? New buildings, new equipment, etc, etc. Yes, blade runners. Okay, so we just need some quick wire. We need some quick wire for that. Fine. So we need to convert some ore into ingots and ingots into quick wire. Now I did make a bunch of, or did pick up a bunch of the ore. I think I put it in over here. Yes, I did. Okay, so let's see how much this actually turns into. If we just put down just temporarily a smelter, and I don't really need it to be anywhere specific. Let's just actually put this down and select caterium and go and process them. I'm going to need some power from somewhere. That's full. Let's grab it from here. That'll do. In fact, no, I want an extra power pole. Let me just get rid of you. Whoop. And then I just want a power pole because I need another machine here. And then you to here, at least for now. Yep, you're producing ingots quite happily. And then we want a constructor, I think. Yep, I can go there. And the constructor is then going to make quick wire, which is taking 1 caterium ingot and turning it into 4 quick wire. That should be done. Oh, I just need some power. Okay. Okay, you up. And off it goes. So how much quick wire do we need? Was it? I can't imagine it'd be very much at all. Was it 25? Let's see if I remember rightly. You're probably screaming at me saying no. 50. Okay, that's fine. So we need about 13 basically ingots worth, and I think that's going to be pretty quick. So do we have enough? Do we have enough? Yeah, that should be enough. Yeah, should be more than enough. Okay, so there is 32, and I'm going to get 50 of that, and let's go and make ourselves some runners. Here we go. Let's make ourselves some blade runners. And there they are. Good, 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 good. So we can put them in our body slot, and there we have our blade runners. So I am now moving faster and jumping taller, and I like it. I like these a lot. Just I can just jump on top of various different to various different structures. And it also helps for scaling, obviously, terrain of all kinds when you're actually moving around. But, yep, like this a lot. The only downside I have, unless this changed, and I always complain about this, and I know I'm probably getting on people's nerves, but is that you can't equip this and the jetpack at the same time. There is only one body slot. Now, if there's more body slots open up, I would be very, very happy. But normally what you end up doing is equipping the jetpack and then using that to jump up and then swapping it, and then swapping it at a certain point. People have even got to the point where they start jumping with this and then use a jetpack to keep on going, and all kinds of other just different things to do that with. But yeah, I would like more than one body slot. I don't even mind if I can't use them both at the same time. If there is a switch body slot key, that will be fine too. I have no problem. I just don't want it in my inventory and have to manually drag the stuff out and over here. So yeah, I wouldn't mind for that to be switched as well. If that is in the game, in the later stages, in the next tier up maybe, do let me know. Otherwise, that's fine. I do want to just double check what I actually needed for the next tiers for the space elevator. I think it was it computers? I don't think it's supercomputers yet. That's for the one after maybe. Yeah, just regular computers, but 1,000 of them, and 1,000 heavy modular frames, and 1,000 motors. And the motors is going to be by far the easiest of those because, well, they'll just keep producing. Have I got this on? I think probably got it turned off. Have I got it turned off? That's on. Are you off? You are off. Yeah, you can go back on now. We're going to need a lot of motors. This is just going to take the screws away from basically our reinforced iron, but that's fine. We can always add an extra story in above the top. It runs at full speed if that machine isn't taking it. So with this belt is basically full once I turn it off. But for now, it's fine to just have it split, and we'll have, well, yeah, more modular frames. So that's it for today's episode. We've got to the mud runners, which is my main objective. We've also unlocked this building, the manufactory, and we've also unlocked the ability to get oil. Now I need to go and scout out where the nearest oil supply is from here, and whether we should build our products at this end or at the oil end is up for grabs. The downside, or the upside and downside to this, is mainly that you got a bit more complexity if you build it at the other end, but then you don't have to cart our oil everywhere. But oil actually gets transformed into 3 different things: into plastic, into fuel, and into rubber. So I think what we might do is have at the other end oil into fuel, and that goes into a fuel generator basically, which then keeps the oil running. And everything else other than that, the oil, gets shipped on a belt or a train eventually once we get to that tier, whereby we'll have at the other end plastic and rubber being made from it. All 3 of these products are made directly from crude oil, so we then are able to make other things from that still, like circuit boards is wire and plastic, as you might imagine, although it's more like wire, more like copper and fiberglass in the real world, but we'll let them alone. Plastic is fine. And computers, then we're going to take those, yeah, so we need screws, we need plastic, yeah, more plastic that is, cable, and circuit boards. So you can see the idea of the shape of the sort of computer factory that you're going to have from that. That we're going to need probably another screw factory at some point. I will just end up maxing out what we can actually produce. In fact, I may already have done so. So we'll probably get to the point. No, in fact, no. We can, unlike the mining buildings, we can actually go to the tier 4 belts with these, as long as the input line isn't maxed out. The input iron ingot line, that is. From our other building, then we can continue to scale it upwards. So yeah, that you can see they're already on the top floors for both of those buildings, and for that one the rods isn't, but those 3 is already on the top floors, so they need to go upwards even further. But we'll get to that in an upcoming episode, I'm sure. For now, that's me signing off. Thanks very much as always for watching Satisfactory. If you've enjoyed the episode, give it a like. A thumbs up is always appreciated. Otherwise, subscribe if you haven't already for more of these episodes by clicking on the bell for notifications. Otherwise, we'll see you next episode for some more Satisfactory, and as always guys, thanks for watching,